We see a top activation, probably just looking for land, maybe fetch land. Caracas.
So this is round 3 still. Gray is up a game against Doff, who's playing Bug Delver. He's on Miracles. Kind of an uphill battle for Doff. Rest in peace, Relic Progenitors out of side. Doff not getting too much out of the sideboard because generally having more sideboard cards for either combo or creature decks. So gonna have a tough time here, and it looks like he's not seeing any
Spinning
threats.
the wheels. Because the thing is, if he's spinning the wheels this hard, this means he probably doesn't have a threat.
Right.
Maybe one Tarmogoyf or something in the nature, or one Bob, and Bob's a little hard, like easy to remove. So I don't know. You did see that him hit two swords, so
That's pretty good.
removal maybe a little light on Gray's side. Also, he only has one blue source to play, and sure, there's a top, but there was no fetch land. So hopefully, for Gray's sake, he'll have a fetch come up in the next couple top card activations.
And
We
there,
do see
there we go.
Tarmogoyf.
We see Tarmogoyf. So Doff now has a threat. Gray get a top here. It is going into Gray's turn 4. So kind of a slow start from Doff, giving Gray kind of enough time to set up. Now on...
Rest in peace.
Oh, and
Ouch.
Doff snap exiles his graveyard, telegraphing he does not have a counterspell for that Rest in Peace. Hopefully we'll see an Abrupt Decay here. At least make that Tarmogoyf for 1-2.
2, 3.
1-2. Rest in Peace gets exiled, but Abrupt Decay goes to the graveyard.
My God, what does that card do? It's so good. Real?
That's how, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I mean, you're a judge, so I'm gonna leave it to you.
I'm going to guarantee you that's how it works.
Just guarantee it.
I'm
It's
not
kinda
going to go
like-
into
It's
the...
kind of like how when my opponent has the 2/3 Tarmogoyf with, you know, creature and land in the bin, and I bolt it, it doesn't die.
Oh, we saw... What was it? Tarfire.
Ew.
On a okay, so it's a 1/2 Tarmogoyf, and he casts Tarfire, which is a tribal instant.
Just make it
And
massive.
and it's funny because there's literally, like, unless you have, like, a Relic Progenitus directly after that Tarfire, there's absolutely no way that that Tarmogoyf will die from a Tarfire because when state-based effects are checked, that Tarmogoyf is always going to be a 2/3.
Gross.
Very gross.
I mean, maybe your Tarfire Rest in Peace deck.
Tarfire recipes.
It's a combo.
Actually, I have seen Goblins decks like Splash White, so I could see the...
And this is
The
how
recipes there.
Gray loses the matchup.
Is Delver or Tarmogoyf?
No, is Liliana. So the way you race Liliana is Jace, and you didn't see Jace there.
And it's definitely a card that Gray can beat, but it's not easy for him to beat for sure.
And if I'm in Gray's shoes, I'm worried. 13.5 minutes left.
Yeah, how he's gonna close out this third game if he does end up going to it. Doff is kind of land heavy though, not seeing a lot of threats. So if this Liliana keeps on going up, I have seen before too, with no cards in hand, if the Liliana ups, Gray can cast Visser, bouncing the Liliana to hand.
Yeah,
And then
that's pretty good.
the Liliana will have to be discarded. So
I think he has Force of Will. I think he just has. That's the only reason I would see play out the 5th land is if you have hardcast Force of Will. And I was actually talking to Doff earlier about how you can just cast Force of Will. Because there's a one point in his last match where he was thinking like, oh, I have to force the pawn or seal it. There it is. Cast the 5-mana Force of Will. We might see a response. Nope. Turn goes to the bin.
Gray doesn't have a ton of counterspells after board, but he does have enough.
Oh, and
We see a Swords to Postures on the Tarmogoyf anyway.
Swords Path. You know, Sunlance, all the same card, really.
Sunland, same as Swords and Path.
I mean, who would want to give your opponent life? Let's just lightning bolt their creature.
When you start spreading out to the point where rounders can't kill one through that becomes the point where you start making leaders.
So Doff could discard his Abrupt Decay, and we see a Supreme Verdict hit the bin for Gray. So that's already 3 board wipes and 3 Swords to Plowshares we see from Gray hit the bin.
Oh my goodness. That thing's massive.
And that is a 5/5 flyer.
We're going to be looking. We're going to brainstorm a response. Ooh. If you're in the gray camp, you just hope he doesn't crack this fetch land for 2 turns. But we might see a crack on it instead. The thumbs up. Untap. Do we crack? That's the question. Draw. Okay.
You're just gonna draw cards.
So it's 2 good cards then.
Oh, he wanted. So you just wanted another land. He's gonna pass over the Doff. So Gray thinking that these next couple of cards will actually obviously win him the game, but we see a Hymn to Torok. So Doff just kind of playing off the top here. No sense in keeping the Hymn to Torok. Gray is going to fetch.
Maybe a Visser into bounce your Tombstalker?
Possibly. I don't. Oh, yeah, because we have Caracas in play.
Yeah.
Very good
something.
play.
And then I mean, maybe Doff doesn't see the Caracas, tries to get him to Edict.
Yeah. We do see the Visser. Visser's gonna bounce Tombstalker, and then of course that kind
Oh,
of.
nope, bounces woman. Bounces lady. That one. I think Doff might just replay it and have him Edict, and then you get taken on down to Valley Town.
Yeah, I think.
Oh my goodness, pack foil Visser.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation that Doff's in. I actually might have bounced the Tombstalker there.
I would have bounced the Tombstalker too.
Because then it turns off Liliana for the turn. Because if he +1s, then he gets rid of his Tombstalker. If he edicts, then he just bounces. And either way, he's safe there.
Yep. And then we did see the Edict.
I think either way, though, Gray's in a good position here. Gray going to take 5, though.
Yeah, there's.
I think it's the same line, pretty much.
It's the same
except
line,
for
he
he
takes 5
doesn't.
less damage.
Yeah, he doesn't take the 5.
I mean, put a little hair on Gray's chest.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay. I like it. So now he can bounce. Because now Doff is pinholed into plussing Liliana. And so now he can attack with Tombstalker. I mean, you just bounce it, right?
Yeah.
You just bounce it this time. And he can't recast it because he delved too much. Tarmogoyf, fine.
You're okay with
Are you
Tarmogoyf
gonna
there?
discard your Tombstalker?
Looks like he is going to discard his
You
Tombstalker.
are ridiculous. You are ridiculous. That is too spice for me. I can't handle it.
If we see a removal spell from the Tarmogoyf here, but we. Oh yeah, we are going to top.
Okay.
So if we see a removal spell for the Tarmogoyf, that Liliana's gone and Gray is in a great position.
He topped that pretty quickly. It's a fetch land. We're gonna go digging.
Digging for our 4th swords, possibly.
Fourth. I mean,
If he hasn't post board, because I know he doesn't run his 4th one main board, but it might be sideboard.
I would have it.
There's a number of things. Another Terminus would be. Nope, Terminus wouldn't do it because he needs to have his Visser on the field still. Not sure what he's looking for here.
Are you gonna be up here also?
This is bad though.
He could see another Visser, bounce the Tarmogoyf, and keep his Visser that's unsick.
Real good. New legend roll. I guess that's correct from Doff to plus there.
I think it is because this turn he forces.
It's you never want to do it. You know. You don't have to discard your 5/5. Null Rod. In response, probably going to see an activation from the top.
Oh, so he does have the Null Rod. That's pretty good. Too bad we not wasted that fetch land, but used the fetch land last turn.
I actually don't know if using the top there is correct. Because he has to discard anyways. Actually, no, it's correct for sure. It's 100% correct. Yeah, he's got it. Block. Bounce to hand.
Oh, and then at the end of turn, he gets to bounce the Tarmogoyf
Bounce the
and have his Visser in
Tarmogoyf.
play.
Have the Visser in play. And then I mean, sure, you have a top on top of your deck. Or if, say, Doff goes with the line of plus Liliana, then you just bounce the Liliana and discard it like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, you could bounce the Liliana, bounce the Tarmogoyf, kill Liliana. There's a lot of lines here. You could also just bounce Null Rod and have a top in play next turn, but that's not the play that I think he's going to do. So we will discard a card.
I just actually like bounce Tarmogoyf here.
Oh, so we actually bounce Liliana, and
Discard
then
Liliana.
Liliana is going to be discarded.
Okay.
Not bad. And then next turn, he could block the Tarmogoyf.
Bounce, replay.
Bounce, replay, bounce, and no rod.
I like the line from Doff actually to make the discard there because your Liliana's going to die either way, and then this way you get a card out of Gray's hand.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
see a waste on Caracas, so I'm content bouncing and then just taking damage for the turn.
yeah, we're going to take damage this turn, but we will have a live Venser and a live top next turn. So
Yeah. Don't
Oh.
be so hasty.
we actually bounce the Tarmogoyf.
In combat.
Gosh.
They are getting violent out there. They just punch the clock. I don't know about that block there. Or the bounce on that. I would have liked to use my top. Recounting. I think we're doing delving count maybe. Maybe he just likes to tap his lands. Not for mana, just for pleasure. Attack. Oh, ouch.
I don't know if Gray
What's
knows
going
what's on
on?
top of his library, and that might be why he's playing the way he is, but
Man, if he had 5 more life from before, then he could have just taken the damage there.
yeah, definitely.
I like not bouncing Tarmogoyf until end of turn because then he then gross. Reps KU. Yeah, we really needed that top to be in play and active at least for one turn. you
Yeah,
know?
for one turn, set up your next couple of draws, because otherwise, I mean. Oh, so you reveal red elemental blast, put it at the bottom, draw card. It's not bad.
Oh my goodness, this is real bad.
So we have 5 minutes left in the round. Going into game 2,
I don't think Gray can win in 5 minutes.
or going into game 3. Yeah, I'm not sure. Kind of a weird couple of plays from Gray there. I definitely thought he was going to bounce a null rod.
I didn't think Gray could have lost there for a while.
But I don't think so either. Wasteland was definitely a good draw for it, though, which is kind of weird. Like the Miracles deck is supposed to be a deck that's kind of Wasteland proof. It runs like 7 basics or 6 or something like that. So generally doesn't lose to Wasteland, but they're very relevant because it was able to get the one land that
For sure.
Gray needed, the Caracas.
Damn.
And that's why we see a lot of lists now. We saw them kind of moving towards running Red Elemental Blast main board, but now we kind of see a reversion back because just losing the Wasteland, not being able to cast your Red Elemental Blast in your pre-board is kind of awkward.
Yeah, and I've heard people talk about, the red part of it. Joe Lissette, the, Miracles Master.
Yeah,
Uh,
he is the miracle.
he's been running Keranos, the god, in his sideboard.
I think that is a joke.
I think it's
I don't
real.
know. I don't know the word to say there, but yeah, I don't know if that's actually the card he wants to be playing in his 15.
I mean, it could be just like the 15, running the Force of Nature in your mono blue deck to be like, all right, everybody, one with the Force of Nature in my deck. But I don't know. I could potentially see it being a way that you can win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're in these game 3 scenarios. You have 6-7 minutes left. You can't win.
Yeah, I think it's also fairly good against Liliana decks. Not a lot of Liliana decks can interact with a Keranos.
Yeah.
I don't know of a card that could.
Targeted discard.
Sure, discard counter
You have
spells.
to once it's on the field.
What's on the
you're
field,
done.
definitely. And then it can shoot down Lilianas. It can just dome the face. It draws extra cards. It kind of does everything there.
See, good card. Haha. I play at EDH, so it's a staple in Legacy. That's how everything works. It's a good time. Oh, wow.
So somebody pointed out in the chat that they can actually have Bounce the Caracas with the Venser, which is a fairly good play. It basically saves your soft lock that you have there.
We'll ask him about that afterwards.
We will ask him about that. I think we had the life totals wrong. I think we might have missed a swing from a Tombstalker or Tarmogoyf, maybe a couple fetches. I'm not sure, but we definitely had the life totals wrong because Gray scooped when we thought he was at 11, getting swung by a Tarmogoyf, which is not possible
Ambitious.
to die from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like that. I hadn't thought of that. Good. Gerktro.
Gertrude.
I think that's Gerktrowy.
I think it's an L. We're not gonna.
Either way, good on you for figuring that out. We see Spell Pierce here on a him to Torak.
So well into game 2
Sylvan
or
Library in
game
play,
3.
Top in play, Delver in play. Delver's not the greatest in this matchup. We're going to see Swords Plowshares on it.
So kind of an aggressive playing here because they are on 2 minutes left in the round.
I mean, can Gray win? He needs to hit a Miracle Term, or not Miracle Terminus.
Miracle,
Terminus, help. Entreat.
Entreat the Angels, yeah, is the only way I think he's going to get out of this game. And even still, Doff can have the answers for it.
Yeah, double Abrupt Decay, just like draw.
Yeah. Double Abrupt Decay, Maelstrom Pulse, also a possibility.
Jace. This is how we win.
Yeah, Jace is just going to go straight up. I don't think Doff has an actual answer to Jace besides creature combat. Maybe a Maelstrom Pulse, but going to be hard to get rid of this Jace, and looks like Gray can actually close out a game with it.
Is he Hellbent? No, he has cards in hand.
Oh, he also has Pithing Needle, is what I hear too. So, just a one of.
Oh no, we're running, like, Sylvan Library's going to draw this game for Doff. Sylvan, too slow.
Yeah, and that's why Sensei's Divining Top is banned in Modern.
It really is.
It's like the only only reason.
Is just the slowest stuff. It's fine on Moto because your fetch lands just happen. You know, shuffling just happens.
Or it's also fine because you're playing on your own time, not on theirs.
Yeah,
they're
actually gonna have like
they have 15 seconds.
No, but they get a time extension for moving over.
Oh,
like 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
3 minutes. I forgot that this is actually the timer from our previous game, so we'll be giving him a 3-minute extension for moving over to the camera for us, because they're such nice guys.
Wow, gentlemen, look at them.
So we are in time, but we will be giving him 3 minutes, so starting now.
Did we just see a fetch land not search? Oh, okay, he shuffled, then searched, then shuffled. I would have liked to have seen the look at what card you thought was important and put on my bottom of the library first. You know, like what do you think it's important? No, because by knowing what's important to Gray, he's more informed for his Sylvan. So I don't know if he looked. I'm a looker. The peaks.
So it looks like Jace is already at 8.
We're Turbo Jace. We're all in.
Or it can't be 8. That's an even number.
Maybe
7.
Maybe Geist Flame. No flashback.
Geist Flame, no flashback. It's at 1.
Get him for 1. So it's either 7 or 9. We're assuming. I
think it's 7. I think it's been 2 turns.
I assume we have Force in hand. It really sucks because I think Gray is well positioned in the matchup, but he has been forced into playing Turbo, and he doesn't get to brainstorm with Jace.
He could have been 2 cards ahead.
He could have been 2 cards ahead, and then just like waited out a couple turns.
Yeah, this Sylvan Library really doing a number on our time limit. Or he's going to discard a card, but in response, we're going to cast a Visser.
Force pitching something. Nope. For Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce? You can't do that. Silly. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm assuming he's taking a damage and it's getting countered. Let's do that. So, and he took 1 off Sylvan, so he's taken 5.
Oh yeah, our life totals are definitely wrong now. We did not.
I don't think life totals are gonna matter here. It's gonna be can we Jace in time?
I think it's 17, 18.
I believe so. Tarmogoyf. Thumbs up. We're Hellbent in Gray's camp. Topping, looking for Terminus, looking for Entreat the Angels. We see a rearrange. Keeping the island tapped. We have to brainstorm now. We're going for the draw. Crocus. Supreme Verdict.
So hopefully we are seeing a. Did we see a Ted Tarmogoyf? We did see a Ted Tarmogoyf.
We had to brainstorm that term.
Yeah. So looks like we're about done. We have 1 minute left in time. We'll actually start the countdown on here so you guys can see.
Man, This one's going to be a draw. There's no conceivable cards that either of them could draw to win the game, except for next turn, Gray Miracle Entry. He could make 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, he could make 4,
But then
which
Liliana
would be enough.
Ultimate and just do like half of them, right?
Yeah, there's conceivably no real
1,
way that
3.
Gray is winning this game. But he could just draw it out. But that would put him at 2 draws and out of the contention
Doff
for prizes.
Taking a long time here is all this Sylvan. It's not like it's not intentional. It's not like malicious. It's just like pace of play. It's kind of hard because he has a lot of decisions to make. We see another Tarmogoyf. We're gonna let them know it is time. How long?
In 2 seconds.
All right, that's time.
So we are now in time in our round 3. Gray is on a 1-outer here. I think he has to draw the entreat on his opponent's turn. So we're going to probably see a brainstorm here. Maybe a fetch land first.
I believe I saw a Terminus on the top of Doff's or top of Gray's deck.
Yeah, we might. I think we need to see entreat here, though. Gray's life total actually not being threatened too much. Obviously, he has. Let's see. Doff has 2 more turns to swing, which actually isn't enough by itself to kill Gray here. So Gray probably has to see an entreat. So on his turn 3 and 5, he could be swinging with them.
Yeah, he needs to see entreat, or else he loses.
So we do see a brainstorm there. Not a super confident brainstorm. See a Sensei's Divining Top. And passed from Gray. So we could see an activation atop. 3rd card down, see entreat, cast for 3. Or if he did see the entreat there, then you could just cast it for 4. So
I do like the play the second top because Liliana's going to make him discard. So this way he can be like, you know what? I'm going to just draw the card after we discard.
yeah.
But entreat still has to be the first card you draw for the turn, so he can't strike Caracas. Okay. Attack. All right. Thumbs up. Take the damage. Not lethal. We're going to put it as not lethal. And I mean, it looks like this game obviously doesn't look like any one person's way far ahead than the other one.
Doff is actually at 7. I think we missed a couple of draws there from Doff from the Sylvan Library. So he took 4 a couple more times than we thought.
Float lands in response.
Yeah, and we just see Liliana Ultimate trying to take Gray off some amount of mana.
Is it going to be lands permanence? I like land permanence.
If we had the entry on top here, I think Gray has this one. I don't think there's conceivably a way Doff can get rid of that many angels. Does he have any cards in hand?
You have to take the pile with the Sensei's tops now.
We lose the 2 white.
Use the mana.
So we're going to draw a card, use the mana.
Oh!
There it is!
No!
There it is. He had it the whole time.
He
Gentlemen,
knew. He knew.
Ladies and gentlemen, we knew the whole time the Entreat the Angels was there. Doska scooped him up.
What a
That
god.
was game there.
Straight poker faced it too. Like,
Yeah,
know anything,
yeah, you kind of put him back, played his top, like, oh man, like I
that's
don't
a
really have
second
anything.
top, man. It's tough. It's tough times.
And
over
doing
here.
it after the Liliana ult, really smart play. Like I think even double abrupt decay doesn't save Doff there because he is at 8.
Yeah, he's super
And he
dead.
made 4 or 5 made 5 angels. So yeah, really no way besides short of counterspell that Doff gets out of that one.
Good shuffle.
Yeah, very
Good
good
shuffle.
very good shuffle. We are going to be right back. That was our round 3. We'll be bringing you our final round here very shortly. Yeah, pretty couple good games, but we're going to take a short break.
Yep.
See you soon. So since we went to time, we are right back. Just a couple-minute break for our lovely commentators. That was kind of vain, right?
Wow.
But
I mean,
we're
you
gonna be
didn't
bringing.
remember beautiful and humble.
We're gonna be bringing you our final round, round 4. Looks like we have Tom Jacobson with Depth and Taxes versus Gray Swanson with the Blue White Red Miracle deck we just saw.
Stupid tutus versus Wrath of God. Let's see it. Let's see it. Beat him down.
I think your view on Death and Taxes is just a bit jaded. I'm not sure though.
All right. I think actually they have an okay matchup.
The matchup is actually pretty interesting. There is definitely a lot of lines that Tom could take that win him the game. All of his creatures are fair. Like some of his creatures are like hard to remove because they can be bounced with Crocus.
Yeah.
But then on the same side, if Tom doesn't have a Wasteland for Gray's Crocus, the Crocus just be bouncing his own creatures. Equipment are very good in this matchup, so seeing Stormforge is good. If he sees Ether Vial, then his stuff isn't counterable. But I mean, it's all kind of like.
It's a good match. It's a good match. Two very skilled magicians slinging spells here.
So we'll just see what's going on. Looks like they're still shuffling up.
Shuffle. Gray, very aggressive.
I'm thinking, by the way you talk about Death and Taxes, you're going to be favoring the Blue White Red Miracles deck here.
I don't actually favor the Miracles deck.
You don't favor the Miracles deck.
I mean, I think it's who wins the dice roll. Because if we see turn 1 Vial into, like, turn 2 Rishon Import, you got a pretty... It's a way easier to get a free win out of Tom here than it is to get a free win out of Gray.
Yeah, I don't think Miracles necessarily gets any free
exactly.
wins, but Death and Taxes, the taxing part of Death and Taxes in this matchup is not as good, I think. Just
But
because
the death part.
the death part can be pretty good. Honestly, like the equipment are what really plays a part in Tom's key to victory. So we'll see here.
All right, we're doing math. We're having trouble with how many dice were rolled. Who's on the play? Tom picks up his hand first. Might be Tom. They just picked him at the same time.
So we have Tom at 3-0 and Gray at 2-0-1.
All right, I picked Tom now.
No way to. You picked Tom before.
I mean, I picked Tom even more now because Gray's mulliganing.
Gotcha. So Gray on 6, going down to 6. Tom keeping his 7. So yeah, Gray definitely doesn't want to be short of any cards here in this matchup. I think his.
Oh, are we mulliganing too? Or are we just saying like, suck it? This is a really good hand.
Oh, we are saying we're mulliganing too.
Oh God,
we were still deciding.
I'm still on Tom, I guess.
So we're both on 6s, still on Tom. I don't know. Sometimes those 2/2s, when you're facing like Wrath of God, are like not very good. But when you're facing like removal spell, when you have like Vial and Caracas in play, like fine.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward.
It's awkward. Also, another reason I'm favoring Tom here is he gave me a foil Sphere of Safety earlier today, which he was willing to give me the playset. I only needed one, but
He had a play set of foil Sphere
I
of
don't know
Safeties.
how he acquired them, but he knows. I've been playing Junk Constellation. I've been on stream a couple times for the standard version. It's a fun time, so maybe he just bought me out. Maybe that's how you do it. You get the commentator to like you. Just talk about how good your plays are the whole time.
Oh, so we have Gray on the play. So we're
no.
switching back.
Maybe we might be switching back.
No, I don't think the player draw matters as much in this
Also,
matchup.
Tom's keeping my couch at his house over the summer, so we'll stick with Tom. Strictly related to Magic. Don't crack those. Don't crack those for counterbalance. Don't do it.
So Mother of Runes can be good here, but can also be very poor if we just see Wraths.
Ooh.
And counterbalance is really going to put a damper on Tom's game plan.
Time to throw up.
Blind flips are very prevalent against the 1-drop, 2-drop deck. And Gray playing around Wasteland here. So really making it tough for Tom to do his own thing.
You have to cast Vial here and just hope. Are we
If we had the Ether Vial, I think we would have cast it on turn 1, but we
No,
do
he had
see
it.
him
He
just
had
jam
it.
it. Yeah.
Hope floats, man. Oh, it's still not a good one.
We might see a Force Will here from Gray. Yeah, we do see the Force Will.
Tom, how dare you? How dare I want you to win because you're holding my couch. I also like Gray. You know what? He's got moxie. I'll give him that much. He said, you fetched twice here at 17. Oh, Island.
Island, no third land.
That Rashad Port gonna do work.
Yeah, definitely. Even if we do see the white land, the Richard Port being able to tap that down when he wants to. And then we also see a wasteland.
He ain't got it. He ain't got. Oh, the one. That's
Except-
a little late.
Except seeing the Sensei's Divining Top is pretty good.
So we don't talk about that. Is it Thalia's non-creature, right?
Yeah,
Non-creature. Okay, if he doesn't play it here.
he plays top here.
Okay. Fine.
And then he's willing here to take a couple hits from Thalia, taking 2 damage a turn, not that bad, because he's just gonna be able to set up his next couple of draws here with Sensei's Divining Top and counter all of the things from the Death and Taxes deck.
I mean, he has to draw fetch land. If he draws like Tundra or Volk, I just like attacking with them on too.
I don't attack with Mom here. If we see, White Source, he could already have the Source Splashes in hands.
We have a question in chat. Why use fetches grab just islands? He wanted to cast the counterbalance on turn 2, and Tom's deck is laden with wastelands and Rashad Port effects. And so if he were, like, for example, this game, if he were to have fetched Tundra, sure, he might have been able to play a path or of something of that nature, but he would be at 0 lands right now, facing down Tom's board.
And Gray doesn't see a land there?
Oh gosh, that's real bad. I'm glad I picked Tom for now until that changes.
Or Gray might have seen a land, however, but chose not to play it because it's a non-basic, and he wants to Source Splasher the Thalia.
I like that. So we see Gray go down to 13
Gray going down to 13
because we missed a swing last turn.
because we did miss a swing last turn. My apologies. So Tom in a kind of commanding board state, 5 lands in play already. Gray having the counterbalance in top, but not going to do much when Tom already has a board state that's commanding.
And he says, "Do I get to cast this Aether Vial?" And because Gray has the option to counter it, but he decides he needs to be able to use that top and upkeep. I believe that's what his line is here.
And he didn't reveal because he knew it was on top. So Tom's smart here, saving his Richard Import until after Gray already tops, knowing that Gray has to top in order to see lands.
Now you can't get rid of the Thalia. Well,
Wow.
he was taxed.
And this is one of those rare occasions where this Miracles deck actually losing to Rashad Import.
How awkward is it if he draws Volk?
Very awkward.
It's just like actual Volk.
Supremo awkward. So we actually see combat from Mother of Runes now, just as you said.
I like that 2 turns ago.
I think even now, though, it cuts off another turn.
It cuts off a turn still.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked it last turn. This turn cuts off a turn, so. So he's gonna go to draw step now. And then in draw step we're gonna need to tap that down so he never has 3 for click. Okay. I'm gonna top with that mana, which is something I would have liked to see Gray do before. Tom sequenced really well.
Yeah, Tom is sequencing very well. Yeah, and honestly, the counterbalance there, I did not cast it and just kept his fetch lands and played off the top of his library for a while. I'm not sure what's in his hand, but if he had some like a Swords to Plowshares or something, I definitely would have rather see that than a counterbalance in play.
Okay, we gotta get a draw here, and we're gonna. Okay, so that just tells me that there's no path, right?
Swords to Plowshares.
Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, we don't have a Swords to Plowshares probably, or he wants to keep the top and just play the land that turn, depending. So in this situation, I don't think we want to attack with Mother of Runes this turn.
Yeah, no more. Also, too much modern for me. Just keep calling it path.
Call it path and.
Just, like the path. Oh, whammo bammo.
That is
welcome to the port, baby.
Yeah, and now with Tom's Aether Vial on 2, even if Gray is able to get rid of the Mother Runes or the Thalia or both here,
he wastes the fetch. Make him go down to 9.
Make him not just go down to 9, but also
make him shuffle away the top.
Shuffle away the top.
It's all hot,
especially when he's on an excess of lands here.
Man, Gray didn't mess up and fetch a Tundra. He correctly played Magic. What a skillful wizard.
So now we're just going to swing a Thalia. Thalia going to be able to probably get in here for 2. Can't see a feasible way that Gray is going to get rid of it this turn. So we're at 7 for Gray. And it's still sitting at a healthy 20, which will probably stay that way for Tom.
He's gonna path it or plow it.
He can't, like, realistically, he can't, though, because Mother Runes is in
I
play.
think he has to. I think he just has to be like, okay, I'm gonna have to use 2. But Rashad and Port down Plains.
What's also interesting is that in upkeep, he can Rashad and Port Plains, and then in draw step, Rashad
to
and Port
Island.
Island. So he doesn't ever have 2 mana that's beating Rashad and Port at the same time. But we do see a Brainstorm here. In response, we're going to tap the island. All right, then. So Gray tapped out for the turn. Maybe being able to find a land here, but still not being able to cast the spells he needs to cast.
If we saw like pretty much any creature come in on lands up here, hopefully like Stoneforge Mystic if you're in the Tom camp, would be real good.
Stoneforge Mystic would be good. It would allow him to actually, let's see, if Fire and Ice, because it adds 4 damage, and then with
Presents
Stoneforge is
lethal.
5, so that presents lethal, yeah.
We're doing some storming.
So no end step Vial here, just keeping the threats he has on board. If we see a Terminus on top from Gray, he's in this game, but not very well. Still having a Vial on 2, and now we can see a 3rd Rishadan Port. So actually cutting off the Terminus next turn. So Gray down to 5 now.
He's got to tap these white sources upkeep though.
He can tap. He can tap Plains, Island, and the Terminus can't be cast in his upkeep or in his draw step because Thalia is out.
I know, but he has to upkeep them. Otherwise, you do it in draw step and just fold command.
Yeah. So I think we saw him actually try to tap down the Flooded Strand though. So Gray probably going to be in the tank here. So he fetches and gets a white source. He can just tap down both the white sources and then Gray's off white for the turn.
It's a tough spot.
Very tough spot for Gray.
And I get like little minor bonuses, and that was enough. So then after a while, I gained a little advantage over
So we see, ports on both the islands, or both the plains rather. And then Gray is not going to be able to cast Terminus this turn. Realistically, any of his white spells, Swords of Plowshare is kind of dead with the Mother of Runes in play. So what are we going to see here? Snapcaster Mage. And Brainstorm. So Gray using up all his mana just to Brainstorm this turn. He's hoping to, if he saw the Terminus already, he's probably hoping to put that back on top and then cast it next turn. With another Brainstorm in his upkeep, I really don't see the outs here for Gray.
That Snapcaster is going to jump underneath Thalia.
Yeah, it's going to buy him a turn, but I think he needs more than just a turn. Mystic Gate actually pretty good here.
Oh, the Mystic Gate.
But we see a Phyrexian Revoker, and that's going to get in for the last bit of damage he needed. So, boom, boom. That is the game. Going into game. A couple of interesting sideboard cards for both of them. Some more removal, some more creatures from Gray's side. And then from Tom, he gets like Oblivion Ring for the counterbalance and Jace. What else do we think we see from Tom? I think all the cards are pretty live here.
Yep.
He just kind of has to see the sequence of right cards. So maybe not a lot coming in because his main board's already pretty good. I think all the cards are pretty live. Either really fast clock or all his taxing cards actually interact with his opponent. So
as good as Death of Taxes could be.
Wow.
I mean,
really just ripping on this.
Tom just comes in here and 4-0s every other week or every week, so I can't get him wrong. But
Even with the blue and taxes
Dude,
list.
blue and taxes, I was okay. I was okay with blue and taxes. I was doing some cool stuff. He had
Spirit
a Farah in his deck.
Spirit of the Lavendilion click. That's some jazzy
Combo.
jazz.
Jazzy Jeff, man.
Yeah, you know the funny thing about the Spirit of the Labyrinth V click is if your opponent has a V click with your Spirit of the Labyrinth in play, not as
Not
good
as
for
good.
you.
Not as good. But maybe they target themselves. They're confused.
They would actually draw the card though. It's the
On
first-
their turn. They do it on their turn.
They do it on their turn.
They're like,
They're really
I'm
confused.
really, where am I?
At that point, they don't even know they're playing Magic.
They're like, what? This Hearthstone?
Yu-Gi-Oh? What? So yeah, a couple, like, not a lot of sideboard cards for both players, but I think we'll see some more Supreme Verdicts. Maybe another Visser from Gray's side.
Yep.
But I think a lot of his combo hate is in his sideboard, and his main board is already pretty stacked with creature hate and win conditions like Entreat the Angels. So not a lot coming in from both players, but still an interesting match. We'll go see what they're up to.
Tom won game one. I think it's
Tom,
works.
if they win game one, they win the match.
He's sure as heck not losing the match because it's real hard to win 2 games in 35 minutes.
For the Miracles deck, I believe so. They definitely have the potential to, but not easy, especially against the deck that also wants to kind of play a grindy game. The Death and Taxes deck doesn't mind going to turn 15 because they can kind of reset the turn clock by playing Rishon Import and Wastelands. And they also have late game potential with Batter Skull and Mirror Crusader, just really high impact creatures.
And their
And so-
opponent's just being bored to death. Like, man, you're just playing bears. How dare you? I'm over here trying to cast Supreme Verdict. Just think about that. Supreme Verdict. That name is just like, man, strike fear into the hearts of tutus everywhere.
You know what I have seen from Miracles before against creature decks is siding in Baneslayer Angel. It is not in Gray's sideboard, but what do you feel about that card in
Let's
creature
go get him
matchups?
one. Let's go get him one. That's what I want to see.
A flying, first striking, life linking, 5/5 for 5.
Keranos. Let's play Keranos instead.
Tom isn't actually a deck that can interact with that card though.
He has a
Oblivion Ring post sideboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Deicide and he does not have Deicide.
Do you know, aside here to Commander talk, gods are so annoying at EDH.
They are very annoying.
For non-white decks. Because white decks, you have all these great answers to. You have O-Ring, Banishing Light, Deicide, your, like, whatever. Like, so many answers. Exile effects. If they ever become active, you can path them. Obviously, path's probably not in your deck because it's not the greatest card in Legacy or in EDH. But like, I'm sitting over here with my Rug deck, and when you play a God, my options are like race your God,
Cyclonic
or lose,
Rift.
or Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah.
Against Cyclonic Rift gods, that's about it.
Yeah, the one that I've really had trouble with is Perforos because
Guys,
they just go
general.
like turn 2 Perforos, or not turn 2, sorry, like turn 3 because they played Soul Ring, of course, and then
Yeah, they do a turn 2.
oh they can do turn
It's
2.
4 mana.
Yeah, so they go turn 2 Perforos, and then I've seen them go like turn 3 Emrakul's Hatcher, dome everybody for 8,
Yeah, this card's stupid. And they like a
or like
dictated the twin gods in that deck too. The
Yeah.
flash take double damage.
or if you're playing like the Krenko Goblin deck, you just play Perforos in your deck, and then if you see it, you just win the game.
It's stupid.
It's very stupid.
It's stupid. I don't have a good time.
So a couple good starts here from both Tom and Gray. We're going to see Ether Vial from Tom. That is resolving.
Wow.
Kind of a surprise there. And then a Sensei's Divine Top from Gray. And so the awkward thing about Gray is that he doesn't want counterspells after board because a lot of stuff Tom is playing is uncounterable. But then he also doesn't want him to have Ether Vial in play. And also doesn't want the Cataclysm to resolve, which Tom is bringing in post board.
Oh.
I forgot about that card until just now.
Whoa.
Cataclysm says each player chooses a land between its permanents, a land, artifact, enchantment, and creature, and sacrifices the rest. So it actually kills planeswalkers, and it shuts the control deck off multiple lands as well as.
It's a goodie.
If they have multiple creatures or something in play, it's also good against creature decks. So yeah, kind of a real beating against the Miracle deck.
That's a Tyler Gardner cube card. As much of a blue mage as I am in real life, when it comes to cube, I am the Tom Jacobsons of the world.
You are the Armageddon,
I am the
the
Armageddon,
Cataclysm.
Thalia, Icy Manipulator, Ring of Gix, Sinkhole, like Mox Jet, Mox Pearl deck. It's real fun. Man.
So,
Value of Vial to 2, play a port on his last turn, so he'll have a port.
so we have cutting Gray off another land. Gray kind of playing a slow game, just using his top to get card advantage and going from there. Tom going to be able to get him for 2 here, so that'll bring
This is 17.
And both players are in a good position here. Not really any way to say who's ahead, but Tom does have a creature on the board, and Gray seems to not. Oh, and then we see a Swords of Plowshares on the Thalia there.
Creature's not on the board now. Maybe.
Yeah, I might have
maybe.
liked seeing Swords of Plowshares prior to a main phase, so we don't get to Caracas possibly, but that is okay. Maybe
put,
just
put
want-
in the second Dahlia.
Yeah, just
put in the second Dahlia. Just fucking. No, I can't say that. Oh, Revoker.
So we see Revoker on top, and that top is now not able to be activated. And we're going to port in Gray's upkeep. His fetch land?
I like that.
Is it his fetch land, or is it, we
I
might
guess
also see it on his, one of his other lands, and he will just be playing a spell in response.
Yes, the Cattle God. Cataclysm, most fun card to cast. It's so great. It's so great.
Cataclysm is definitely a fun card to cast. Probably the worst card to see on the other side of the table, because if they're siding it in, it is
In their game plan.
bonkers against you.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely unbeatable.
More spice than a bottle of sriracha. I'll tell you that much.
Like, thought that Miracles might not be able to beat a Liliana ult. They're definitely not beating Cataclysm.
Oh, we have heard from for an observer. It was 4-land Jace. Oh, Jace isn't
We see a
playing.
Jace jam down, though, and either we'll see a bounce on this Phyrexian Revoker or a Brainstorm, I'm guessing. But we're going to just gain card advantage. And Tom's not going to be able to kill that Jace this next turn, so looking good for Gray. Going to be able to draw at least 2 cards there.
Oh, he'll just play as a second Revoker that he'll have. You know, he'll have it, and he'll just be like, "Oh, Jason Mind Sculptor, easy. Your cards do nothing." Also, Gray with the foil lands looking real good over there. Wasteland looking real bad. Wow, he attacks the Jace. That means there's no Revoker. Too bad.
Yeah, even though we saw that Gray, or we know that Gray isn't really dead to like Wasteland Rishon Import. He was dead to it last game, and he did lose to a Wasteland on Caracas last round. So it is possible for him to
Lose.
yeah, it is possible for him to lose to those kind of cards.
I'll play a Thalia, says Tom. It's a good one, and it resolves. Upkeep, tap, probably planes.
Yeah, we want to tap down the white sources, make sure that Source of Plowshares and Terminus are shut off, at least as much as possible.
He says, take it out of your sleeve. No, apparently not. White, red, plow.
So we're probably going to see a Disenchant here, I'm guessing, or a destroy target artifact for a single red. He's going to use the white that was Rishon imported, so to pay for the Thalia attacks. And he's going to be able to top this turn, and for turns to come.
Oh no. Oh, and he has the land. People hear me groaning that Gray has some good stuff going on. Don't get me wrong, I like Gray. Gray's a good guy. It's just,
Is it just the
I just have to root for the couch, man.
blue white red Miracles deck?
No, it's like I'm down a couch right now to Tom. Like if I don't root for him, then I just never get my couch back. And that's just real bad. That's bad value. Yeah, PK Jeff. I also same kind of wizard. I sling with my lands in front. Just keep my spells as far back as possible, so they have to reach over to look at them. And I'm just like, can you stay off my half the table, please? Encroachment, man. It's not cool.
So we see Pithing Needle come down, probably needing Ether Vial, and then Tom's going to respond to the Pithing Needle, not the naming, the Pithing Needle, to put in a Stoneforge Mystic. So Pithing Needle could actually name Stoneforge Mystic here, which could be good, but probably still naming Ether Vial, depending on what Tom got. Did we see what Tom got? Was it a Fire and Ice or a Batter Skull?
I have to assume it's Fire and Ice, but okay. We have confirmation from our spotter who earlier told us Gray's hand was actually terrible. It is now amazing. What Jace can do over the course of 3 turns is just an interesting Magic card. We might see that one. Is it an expensive card? It's at least $20, right?
Is it rare even?
I think it might have a rarity. Maybe it's even mythic rarity. Well, we'd have to look that up. I'm at a store right now. It's probably a rare. I'd have to assume at least $5.
What's a rare?
Jace. I've never seen that one before.
Oh, Jace the Mind
Is it
Sculptor.
pretty
Yeah.
good?
Is it rare?
Is
Yeah,
it a rare?
he's okay.
He's a mythic. Wow. Okay. Confirmed. He's expensive and a mythic. Pretty good card. Reporting. Welcome to the port. Tapping you off your white mana. We're gonna use it to top. We're gonna use it to tap the top. We want this terminus now.
So we are going to Terminus and get rid of all those creatures. And I might have actually, I don't know if the Wasteland was necessarily that good there. We might actually want our 4th and 5th land to be able to cast Batter Skull later on in the game, if we do end up seeing that card, or just casting more spells per turn. We definitely don't want to flood the board with creatures to just be blown out by another board wipe, but we want to have some amount of density there.
That's a good one.
And now we see the counterbalance Sensei's Divining Top, and that Pithing Needle really doing work. Naming. Actually, I'll get a spot on that name.
I'm gonna say it's almost time to upheavals Tom half the board and put those back in the deck and shuffle up for game 3. Oh, Flicker Wisp. Ayo.
So we do have a name on Ether Vial with that Pithing Needle, but we see a Flicker Wisp there, and this will allow Tom to actually use his Ether Vial this turn to put in another 3-drop.
Which will be
Another Flicker Wisp.
hashtag flyer blowout. Looks like those mountains won't be protecting him for much longer, PK Jeff. Those Flicker Wisps would fly right on over.
These are tropical Flicker Wisps, being able to fly right over those islands.
Yes. Also a very confusing Magic card. Tom is a rude wizard playing these cards that do things when they enter the battlefield.
Flicker Wisp is actually really good in the Cataclysm cube deck too.
Yeah.
Because they're punish the crew lands, punish like a greedy mana base, and then Cataclysm later on.
Peru lands?
Yeah.
Are we not playing Powered where you're from?
No, we are playing Powered.
With Karus?
Yes.
Wow.
Crews are insane.
Maybe like
It supports
the
the
blue-black one.
It supports the Storm deck. No, they're like always good.
Real?
Yes.
Dude, I don't know.
They're like the best fixing in the cube, besides Signets. But I don't play with Signets.
You play Wake then, right? You have Wake in your cube?
Yeah, I have Wake, Frantic, like all the Frantic Search effects. Like
Okay.
these untap lands, right?
My cube doesn't support Storm as well. Like it's still there.
Yeah.
But you have to like work for it.
Crew lands are very good.
They're not as good in my cube, so
I think
we
they're
cut them.
I think they're good because they are like the best lands to fix because they just gain you card advantage too, and then also they're punishable, which I kind of like. Like I kind of like the high risk high reward kind of thing.
I really like crew lands in split card cube because they all have cards attached to them.
Split card cube.
Have you never played split card cube?
I have never heard of.
Okay, for the viewers, we're not just off on a tangent here. Blue, white, red is slowly grinding out this game, and Tom is trying to win. And then we're going to talk about split card cube real quick. Split card cube cards in Magic have been printed with split card for a long time. So cards like Boom Bust, destroy a land, destroy all lands,
Right.
things of those nature. So what it is every card in the cube is a split card. So you'll have like Vidalcan Shackles as half a card, and the other half is Time Walk. And then then you'll have cards like Maelstrom Wanderer in your cube. So you'll cascade into this three card costs.
Okay.
And you'll get to cast the 8-drop it's attached to. Or like your Karoo lands will have spells on them, so when you bounce, all of your non-basic lands, so your Karakuses and things of those natures, fetch lands, they all have things attached to them. All the fetch lands have flashback spells on them. So Marsh Flats has Lingering Souls attached to it and things of that nature.
Wow.
So like your fetch lands are insane. Your dual lands are insane because like Volcanic Island has like Prophetic Bolt and things of this nature. It's the funnest cube to draft because you can like, I think it's online. There's a couple Google Docs for it. You just print it out, put it over basic lands, throw down with your friends. Is a great game to play.
All right, back to the game though. Looks like Gray's kind of getting this in lockdown. Jason plays Snapcaster and a Pithing Needle on his Ether Vial with countered top in play, but we see a cast Batterskull here.
I really like actually that Tom isn't conceding, even though he's in a tough spot. I also like the fact that he has those little packets in his deck box to keep his foils from bending. That's
Very
the tech.
smart. Yeah, no condensation
No
there.
condensation today. I like the fact that he's not conceding because conceivably he's probably not going to win this game. But the fact that it's not skeezy, but like Gray can't win a 10-minute game usually. Tom can win a 10-minute game usually. So if this game goes another 10 minutes, like Tom's in a really good spot. He either wins game 3, goes undefeated, wins this thing, or he ties and goes undefeated and probably wins this thing. So there's no reason for him to hurry up. And he has the 3-up for Batterskull return still. He knows there's a 3-drop on top, but there is a counter top in play, so we don't really know.
Yeah, with Vidalia clicking Gray's deck though, Batterskull is never really safe. Unless he has the 8 mana.
Doesn't put the trigger on the stack. Uses top. You might want to float that Vanillion click for a little while longer. Yeah, so any of the viewers out there that haven't given it a shot, definitely try to find a split card cube. It is a great format, fun to play with your friends. Summer's coming up, barbecue, split card cube. You know, the Northwest Vintage Rotisserie Drafts doing their stuff. They like to draft for booze. I'm not going to condone it, but some people do it.
What are you saying?
Oh, have you ever heard of the Vintage Rotisserie Draft series thing that they've been doing recently?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, that's also a good format. They also stream for, what is it, MTG Commentary, Pay Punt Drop for those people. But it's apparently they have every card that's vintage legal, and then they just basically snake draft back and forth in an Excel document, and they pick the cards they want, and then they make a deck out of it. It's great. There's YouTube videos for it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. But their tournament entry is a bottle of at least $45 liquor, or like $40 liquor, and then at the end, because it's an 8-player, the payout is 4-3-1. So for first, second, and third, you get invited back to the next draft, and then the other ones you have to like win in through qualifier satellites and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a lot of cube fun. Summertime, I'm not in school. It's time for cube fun. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm actually going to be cubing this weekend with my cube. Get down to Snohomish. It's going to be pretty fun. I haven't cubed in so long.
I'm going to be cubing with my cube. Well, not my cube. I contribute foils to it all the time, so I feel like it's my cube. But it's definitely, there's a lot of power in there that do not belong to me.
So Gray in a very commanding position here, but still need to find a win condition. He does have 2 fetch lands in play to fetch his other white sources to cast and Entreat the Angels, but he still needs to see the Entreat the Angels.
Yeah, Entreat's probably the best card. He needs to win. He needs to win pretty soon. Tom's still gripping. He's got a lot of stuff over there. Check out this Plains. Whoa, a Batterskull. Where did that come from?
We didn't see the shuffle from Gray, right? There's still a Vendilion click somewhere in his library, on top of his library.
He did use top, so he could have.
Yeah, so it's either in his hand or on top of his library. I would like to have seen a V click, just get rid of that Batterskull, like get rid of the relevant threat there.
Yeah, that's a smart Smart move there. Maybe in response to the germ trigger. Oh, do we counter that? Oh no, he's just entreating. This is gonna be game. Unless we have Avid Mind Sensor, which okay. In response to the fetch. In response to the Mind Sensor. Because you lose a mana anyways, it's just right to path it or plow it. Maybe? Tapping the table. Yeah, so he's gonna plow it because it's functionally the same because he gets to have his mana. That will give Tom 2 life, and
Yeah.
he's either lethal this turn or lethal next turn.
Yeah, so I don't think he's lethal this turn. Let's see. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4 angels, 16, 18 from the Snapcaster Mage. Even though it's not lethal, I don't think that he can come back from this. I don't think there's a single card that could get rid of that many angels.
3 minutes to shuffle and present after game 2 before we move into game 3. That'll leave Gray with potentially, probably 12 minutes to win game 3. And I mean, we saw it last round, and he's able to do it, but we saw Doff go through, 8 extra cards looking for a counter spell for that, a Force Will, and he didn't get it, so. What happened? Why is there...
Looks like we didn't cast the Entreat, we revealed for a Miracle Trigger, and then just brainstormed it back on top of our library.
Oh, okay.
And so now we're going to be casting our Entreat the Angels.
Neat. So that is Angels for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
A lot better than the previous 5 we thought we were going to get.
Do we even block? Yes, we
Uh,
block. It's still lethal. Picks them up.
Yeah, definitely not getting out of that one.
We have a time extension for them because they did start in the video feature match area. So
Yeah, so we have, I think we have about 14 minutes left. After shuffle, we probably have like 12. And so Gray realistically don't think he can necessarily win a game in 12 minutes. It's possible.
he can. I mean,
But against a deck that's taxing
Yeah.
and also is playing like some grindy matchup or grindy deck, I don't think it's necessarily possible for him to be winning that game. But we will see. Kind of didn't see any sideboard cards there, I don't think. Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle 1 card.
I think they're both positioned really well on what they're going to want to be doing versus the other person's game 1.
Right, so they just want to like not hedge against them in their sideboard
Yep.
and just be playing cards that are better in other matchups. But Pithing Needle actually pretty good against the Death Taxes deck.
Yeah.
We'll shut off one thing once, and usually probably going to be calling Ether Vial, but also relevant targets are Stoneforge Mystic, Batterskull, GT,
Can name
Fire
Caracas
Knights.
too.
You could also name Crocus.
You don't want to because you have your own. But
Shuts off your own Crocus, but if they are abusing it when you're trying to remove their Thalia, then Thalia or Brimaz or other spells,
Yeah.
could be good.
you have V-click. If you're trying to block with V-click and they keep bouncing it or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's a chance. It's good.
yeah. So a lot of targets that the Pithing Needle can name. I'm assuming there's also like Detention Spheres coming in, some amount of other board wipes.
Yep.
His last Entreat the Angels, possibly a 4th Swords to Plowshares if he plays that in his sideboard. And then from Tom, like O-Ring and stuff, but didn't seem like O-Ring would have necessarily done anything there.
Yeah, I think Tom's going to try to get him dead. Get him dead. Real strong.
Definitely.
Good strategy. And that's what I was talking about before the match even started. Like we saw game 1. Tom got a free win. Like, sure, he did stuff and the game went kind of long, but all in all, like, Gray didn't draw lands and Gray died. And, like,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons.
Didn't draw lands until it was too late. And then he had like 3 Rish reports in play.
And that's why I actually like Death and Taxes in this matchup specifically, is because there is that chance. Sure, Gray's running a lot of lands. Sure, he has a lot of basics. But he has, like, Rishon imports and Thalia taxing, and the fact that like mulligans happen, and a lot of the times post-board, especially when he has to win in a time crunch, he can't keep certain hands that he would have wanted to keep.
Right.
And we saw that in that game against Doff, where he had to win really quickly. He had to use Jace in a suboptimal way for a long time.
Yeah, there was like 3 turns where he had to Fate Seal, where if he had been brainstorming, like that would have been what he would have wanted to be doing if it was a game where he had infinite number of
Yeah.
infinite number of turns, but he only had a few, so he needed to be just going straight up, trying to get that ultimate off. Turns out he was able to find the untreat though from the brainstorm. So I don't know, kind of a judgment call there.
Kind of a judgment call.
So we'll just go back. They are well underway, and we have Tom on 2 lands. No play though.
He has to have an insane grip. I can say that much.
So we see a Flickerwisp come down. He will bounce his own Wasteland.
I think either Tom is on the mulligan or his hand is insane.
I don't. It looks like he has a pretty good grip. Don't think he's on the mulligan. But we will see probably a Wasteland on this Mystic Gate here.
The hesitation there makes me feel like he's out of lands in hand. Oh,
I don't think it's necessarily like a good idea always to be wastelanding the 23 land deck, especially in the early turns of the game. You're not necessarily gonna. Very rarely are you gonna reset to turn 1 or 2 against a Miracle deck because you're gonna have lands in hand.
so we have a question in the chat. How is this match between a 2 and a 3-0? It's actually a graphics error on our coverage, the little overlay that we have.
Yeah, so Grays
There's
actually has
2-0 and 1.
Yeah, he has a draw. So he's 2-0-1 and Tom is 3-0.
We could have it be 2 and then 0.5 because it's kind of a loss, but
Wow. So we see a Swords of Plowshares on the Flickerwisp there. In response, Tom is going to disenchant on the counterbalance, but Gray actually had the 2 on top there.
planned. He planned that.
He definitely planned that, yeah.
Just knew.
And Tom is going to, or Gray is just going to pass playing no lands,
That's gross.
and counterspell in hand. So none of Tom's threats really is going to resolve. Hopefully see a Cavernous Souls or something of the sort here. We actually see a counterbalance trigger.
Yeah.
Brainstorm in response,
Ah.
probably putting that counterbalance back on top, or counterspell back on top.
So good. My goodness. Best art. That one's also amazing in foil, so step your game up, Gray. Come on.
Mercadian Mass has some beautiful foils. Brainstorm not excluded.
Brainstorm and the art, not just the foiling process. I think art on the cards were really good.
You don't like the Ice Age Brainstorm more than the Mercadian Mass one?
No, not at all.
I actually do. I am
Really.
one of very few people who
I
prefer
like the
Ice
Vintage
Age.
Masters one. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a brainstorm.
That's
Like,
what the Ice Age one is.
It's a cloud.
Of brains?
It's like a cloud that's brain shaped with like lightning.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the new one also. The Is It versus Golgari Dual Decks one that they just put into Conspiracy.
Yeah.
That one's really cool. The foiling process on it I haven't seen yet, but I can imagine it would be a little darker.
That's always a set symbol that gets me though. For the
Yeah.
specialty sets, I can't stand them. So
Yeah.
like the Conspiracy specialty set, like foil, like the specialty set symbol, I just can't handle. Like Modern Master symbol, can't handle.
Yeah.
Like any of the From the Vaults, it's just
Yeah, the Modern Masters one, pretty ugly. When you resolve your foil Vendilion click for Modern Masters, I mean I let it resolve.
it has
But
a mythic symbol.
I wouldn't have let that resolve if it was from Morning Tide because like it was so much cooler back then. I've actually opened one pack of Morning Tide ever, one Vendilion click.
Nice.
I had enough store credit back home before I was leaving, and I was like, you know what? Throw down. Even here at Dark Tower, I had enough store credit before I left last year for summer breaks. This is college town where we're from. It's Western Washington University's up here. I was leaving for the summer. I was like, you know what? I got enough money left. I'm going to take a pack of Modern Masters. Ripped to Tarmogoyf.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't sling cardboard on the tables. I can from booster packs, though.
All right, guys. So we are in our final round of Legacy. If you're just tuning in, Death and Taxes versus Blue Red Miracles, and Gray kind of in the advantage here, just having the counterlock already going, and Tom just not really playing any threats, and the ones he is playing are getting countered.
And Gray has Counterspell in hand as well, not only countertop in play.
Yeah. So realistically, Tom not going to be resolving any threats for probably the rest of the game.
Probably.
But Grace does still have to win. He has 7 minutes to do so. So this can go into a draw for Tom and Gray, which would make Tom actually the
winner.
only XO. Yeah.
Welcome. This is the fun police. Oh, it is foil. Damn. I'm sorry, Gray.
Foil Mercadian Mass Counterspell.
Yeah,
So good.
I didn't respect you earlier as a player until now. Ooh, and we see the ratchet bomb go into play. Got a chance here.
Yeah, we do have a chance. If we see the pithing needle,
Do we leave the bomb at 0, saying you don't get to win the game, we're drawing? Or do we try to go up to 2 to get the counterbalance?
that's actually an interesting question. I feel like if Tom is able to go up to 2, he Tom or Gray can just always have like another counterbalance in hand or the Entreat the Angel and he just loses. But yeah, I think I like actually leaving it on 0 because that means that Gray's only way of winning is creatures other than Entreat the Angels or Jace. And those are not very fast. He needs to win this game in the next 6 minutes.
Oh, baby. Just kidding. Pop it in response. Jeez, Tom. Respect loss. So, our plan didn't work. Because there was a wear tear.
Yeah, so he had the wear tear.
Reason to play red in this deck. One of the many.
Yeah, we were seeing Gray playing Disenchant, so he didn't have to play the basic mountain. But looks like he went back to the basic mountain wear tear game plan because it is not bad.
I saw some more blue than normal today, so the red was better, I think.
Probably, yeah. The red was a little bit better because you could play the maybe Ward Red Blast. Feasibly.
Which one's better? Which one can target without actually being correct? Pyroblast?
Pyroblast can, yes. So that means it's actually worse.
The only time it really came up was that in the fish mirror, for a while, you would side in Hydroblast because you could kill their Merfolk Lord. If they illusion the Phantasmal Image, if they copied your Lord with it, or their Lord, or a Regery or whatever, you could not Blue Blast, you could Hydroblast their Phantasmal Image copy of the Lord because it would target and then fail, even though it was a blue permanent. Then it wouldn't destroy it like it would a red. Say if that card was red, it would destroy it as per the text of Hydroblasts are.
Oh, sure.
But you could target it, and then the destruction would fail, but you would have targeted it, so it dies anyways. That's like one of the few times it became relevant when I was playing fish back in the day. Gray's still trying to win.
No, he's trying to draw.
Oh, Gray,
I'm
we
just kidding.
spotter confirmed. Gray likes to draw.
So yeah, probably going to end up going into a draw this game. We do see 2 fetch lands in play, though, and that means Gray gets to see probably 8 cards.
4 minutes is a lot of time.
4 minutes is a lot of time, and we're going to bounce Crocus.
Now bounce your Crocus.
And we're thinking Jordan Outpost is Tom's only out at this point, which means he has to buy and then cheat in a Jordan Outpost into his deck.
What is this? What is this?
It puts in a 1/1 soldier if you pay 1 and a white.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, that's pretty good. Is that forever? Or is it sack?
It's a land. No, it just puts in a 1/1. I think you have to sack a plains when it comes into play.
That's just amazing. Let's get him one of those. He could sack like a shitty plains.
Yeah.
What's Yeah, he could like have a Savannah in his deck exclusively for sacking. That'd be pretty good.
Why not Plateau? There's always Plateau.
No, that's ridiculous. You'd have to have like a beta plateau if you wanted to go with that line. Fetch. Gray getting aggressive with his life total down to 18. Potentially, we're gonna check the number. We'll put in 18 for now. Life total?
It's 12 to 21.
Oh, okay. 2,100. Nope, too much.
Stop. It's actually 12 to 21. Gray obviously taking a few more fetches, a few more hits than we thought we did. He did. But just looking for his win condition here at this point, I think.
Yep. That's the struggle you have. And, you play a deck like this, you're gonna have a pretty good matchup with a lot of people, but you just gotta win in time.
Yeah, a lot of the times this deck can have all the answers, and it can have 7 cards in hand, and then cast a Sulfur Elemental,
And beat down.
but not find a win condition. But this is a substantial amount of damage. I think 3 from the Sulfur Elemental, if I'm correct, and 2 from the Visser.
Yeah, Gray was nice enough to point out there that Tom's creature died as a result of the Sulfur Elemental. What a gentleman.
What a gentleman.
How dare he attack him with creatures? That is Tom's plan.
And Tom can actually not respond with the Caracas there.
Nope.
Because it actually has split second.
The
And
fastest.
he cannot respond to the state-based effect of his creature having 0 toughness.
Are you a judge?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
So smart.
You should certify me as a judge, and then the next time they come up with 4 force wheels, you get one. And then you'd split it with me, just down the middle.
Nah, I'm cool.
I'd get the art. You could have the text box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, what if... Never mind. I kind of want to, like, have so much money that I could just buy force wheels and then make, like, a life counter out of them.
Oh,
Out of a foil force
baby,
wheel.
that would be cool.
Something ridiculous like that. Is that too much?
It's too much. Maybe that would be like $5. How much is it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious.
We are cataclysming. So Cataclysm is a card that says, usually says you win the game, but in this situation,
Says you draw the game.
you draw the game. So they are each going to sacrifice all but.
Ooh! Whoa!
They're going to sacrifice all but 1 creature, land, artifact, enchantment on each side of the field, and so.
I mean, we get to stay with countertopper play. But that's okay.
So Tom was hoping to draw the game there, not take any damage on board, but it looks like
Cataclysm returned the spell to the hand.
Cataclysm got returned to his hands.
So the promo we're talking about is the Judge promo Force Will. The little blurb they gave out with it was you could only get that one if you were, I think, a level 2 that had certified a level 1, or like a higher level judge. But yes, you usually only get the Judge promos for judging GPs and PTs.
Yeah, so that's correct. This round of promos was given out to judges who were actively certifying other judges. So this way, the people who are like really active in the community are being able to get the judge promos first, and then they can either like keep them and have some really cool card, or they could sell them for more money because there's not a lot in the market. Close to none, yeah. And so this way, they're giving out to the people who deserve them more first. And they might be able giving out those force wills like later on, but for now they were giving out to judges who are actively certifying.
Please do give them out.
Looks like a concession from Tom, not being able to squeeze his way out of this one, and that will be our that will be bringing you. So,
Drawmaster Gray.
Drawmaster Gray, yeah, really being able to eke out that last couple turns. No draw for him today. 301.
I mean, just
Tom
one,
3-0.
just one draw.
Oh, just one. Yeah, actually, we did have a draw today. Kind of an interesting game. Didn't really play out the way I thought it would. Tom having kind of a weak hand in that last match or last game.
I wouldn't be surprised if he actually mulliganed.
If he didn't, I was surprised he didn't mulligan, because that hand didn't seem like it was doing much.
I think that the reason I dislike Death and Taxes, and I'll actually validate it besides just spewing hate, it's the same reason I don't like playing non-blue decks in Standard and in Modern. You don't get to sequence your draws. You can't filter them. You just basically go with what you got and hope it's good enough.
Right.
And like, sure, that works a lot of the times, and there's a lot of synergistic things, so you can end up winning.
Yeah.
But if you're not drawing a lot of extra cards, or filtering your draws with Brainstorm, which best card in Legacy, restricted in Vintage, like why aren't you playing for those kind of deal? Because you get to figure out what you need. So pretty linear strategy. I like it in the abstract, but you saw it here. He didn't draw the half of the deck he needed when he needed it.
Yeah,
and he died.
it's definitely like one of the more powerful decks in Legacy, but it definitely like it is one of those decks that has to top deck.
It
Like,
has no fluff. It's just like all of their cards are good. You just have to draw them in the right order.
yeah, and yeah, it's just kind of one. Yeah, exactly as you said. You just can't have the hand that's like 5 lands and like Thalia and expect to like just have a brainstorm fetch it away. Like you don't have any like saving grace card that's just like, oh, I have that card, like I can keep a bad hand.
Yeah.
That was our final round coming to you from Dark Tower Games. We're going to be signing off here pretty soon, but just to let you know, we do have Modern events on Wednesday, Legacy events on Thursday, and F&M's Friday. Whole bunch of different other events,
Commander
drafts,
on the weekends.
Commander on the weekends, drafts. We're doing Conspiracy this weekend, those kind of things. So go ahead and check out our Facebook page, Dark Tower Games, and we also will be archiving our videos on YouTube. So if you want to kind of watch these again, you can. I don't have the channel up, but you basically just can type in Dark Tower Games and search for them there. So I think that's all I got. Have a good night. Signing off.